Next up, what kinds of optimization will we see in the future with Ryzen 7 series in terms of upcoming games, editing for different companies that utilize the processor? I'm not sure what the /editing question means exactly. Maybe
a typo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. So game optimizations is something that happens very quick and also over a long time period. I know we're working very closely with Bethesda. You'll have seen a lot of work there, but we can also point to people that we also work with Ash of the Singularity. There was some great work we did with Dota. I know we're engaged on all the major esports titles. So it's very hard to get into specifics because we're walking into green fields, as we like to say. So there's unknown territory as we show off this brand new architecture, this brand new memory configuration, and teach people how to use it. Then there's all kinds of opportunity for more performance. And we saw that, I think, pretty clearly. You demonstrated it in an early blog where we saw 15, 10, 30% uplifts just from simple and easy, obvious changes to programming that didn't impact anybody else's performance, which is the key. So, there's two things I would say. Is number one, we're not trying to hurt existing performance. And number two is we want to deliver the best experience for Ryzen that's possible across every game that we can engage with. So that's something unique for AMD because we're the only high-performance processor company that does high-performance CPU and GPUs. So we have a lot of experience and connections already on GPU optimization, and we know how much that impacts over the life of a graphics card, the performance you can get. Now we can bring that attention to bear for a CPU. It's exciting. That's going to be an important thing.
I think the other thing, too, about game optimization is that Ryzen puts AMD into a really good place. We have very high-performance cores with high IPC, high clock speeds. So game developers don't have to do a whole ton of work to extract great performance from the chip because that's what it gives you out of the box. So what we're working on is cleaning up a couple of the outlier titles that were disproportionately slow for whatever reason, and you've already seen updates to that effect, and also extract some of that multi-threading goodness that we uniquely have on top of what the cores give you by default. So that's where we're focusing our time.
And to me, there's really three prongs of this. The first is directly engaging with developers like we've done, like Rob talked to. Secondly, improving the platform, which ties back to the AGESA BIOS. So giving us those higher memory speeds that really give us more game performance. And to me, the coolest part of this, and the part that probably people don't focus on that much, is that because we're giving the market these processors with so much more multiprocessing power than they've had before, because we've disrupted. Once we hit a critical mass, which is coming very quickly, developers will start to say, you know what, we've got a lot of guys out there with 8 threads now, a lot of guys out there with 12 threads now. Maybe we can up our game a little bit in our game engines, and that part is a longer, slower burn, but we're the reason that's going to happen, and that to me is a really exciting impact we've had on the market. So
the game development is really cyclical. You have moments in time where can it play Crisis, right? Where you have a game that comes out that's so far beyond what the hardware is capable of, and it drags the hardware industry with you. And then the opposite can happen. You have a piece of hardware that's so powerful that it can get the software to catch up to where the hardware is. And that's kind of what we're aiming for with Ryzen. It was a conscious choice for us to bring 6 and 8 cores to market. We didn't have to, but we wanted to. And we think it is definitely possible that can open doors for game developers who are currently thinking in sort of this 4-core world and designing workloads around that world. What happens when they start thinking wider? That's what we're excited to see.